All right, Company of Heroes 2 is a game that I love and adore. My favorite game of all time. Not my favorite series. Favorite series goes to Halo. Favorite game of all time, Halo 3. But my favorite game for the past couple of years and the most played game by far, Company of Heroes 2. I have fallen in love with this level of gameplay, I suppose is the way to put it, this style. It's absolutely amazing. So when I heard that Company of Heroes 3 was coming out, I was really excited about it. The way that the game is going to come out, I have no issue against it being the way it is. I encourage change. I really do. I don't like the idea of releasing the same game over and over and over again with slightly better graphics every single time and a different story or a different setting. Like maybe the setting justifies a new game, sure. Like this definitely would. I mean, the fact that we're gonna have Italy be a faction and all that, I'm really excited over that. So they definitely did pick a really good setting, and it's a really they took a step forward in the right direction in regards to the culture of the game, I suppose, the setting of it, and the new units and whatnot. The fact that they're adding like a new international flavor to it, that's fantastic, and I'm really excited for it. Um, the only thing that I really wanted to just bring up and mention about this is the fact that I'm a little bit concerned with the level of variety in this game. I made a video on this earlier, and I felt a little bit stressed out when making it because it was my first time doing it, and it's really tough for me to make a video like this simply because I get distracted easily. So I'm going to try and go ahead and make a bit of a shorter, sweeter version of it, hopefully sounding less annoyed. I am not mad at how this game currently is at all. I'm excited for Company of Heroes 3. I really am. I was just mad at myself. I was struggling really hard to actually make a video. I tried like 7 times and I just couldn't get it across, and I still didn't really get it across right. Regardless, this is going to be the short and sweet version of what I was trying to say. Um, Essentially, it being the level of variety that you can have in this game is fantastic in some ways, bad in others. I believe most people play Company of Heroes for the 4v4 and 3v3 modes from what I can tell anyways. I mean, I haven't asked people, like, hey, what do you play more? But like I can tell from matchmaking times that 4v4 is definitely the more popular one. At least I think it is. Again, I could be wrong. Regardless, um the way that this level of variety exists in the game in regards to the command points and mainly, yeah, there's like the tech tree that you get basically mid match to select units and whatnot and abilities. I think that's absolutely a genius idea for 1v1s and 2v2s, basically smaller matches where like it's a bit more. I mean, if it's 1v1s, then there's no team orientedness whatsoever. So lone wolves can go nuts there. They don't need to pick a commander and give away their identity, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now the player knows what I'm going to do. He can counter it by picking a different commander. No, this eliminates that completely. It encourages people to pick units and abilities and from whatever point in time that they choose, whenever they feel as needed, and just adapt on the fly. I think that's amazing for 1v1s, and I'm definitely going to play more 1v1s. I see it harming 4v4s, though, a lot, mainly because it encourages uh, communication to a level that I don't think most people would truly appreciate. If you want to do good in Company of Heroes 4v4, well, okay, Company of Heroes 2, if you want to do good in Company of Heroes 2 4v4, you don't have to get in a Discord call with somebody and communicate with them on everything in order to do good. You can play and do pretty dang decent. I don't think you'll make it to a legitimate pro player unless you find a team that you play with all the time, but you can still make it really far in Company of Heroes without a mic, without talking to people in chat. Like all the most amount of communication that existed in Company of Heroes 2 was the commanders that people picked. You just saw what commander that your allied picked, and you generally got a sense of what they were going to do. And I love that. I love that they gave strategies in Company of Heroes 2 faces, personalities. That is absolutely incredible. I absolutely love that because I don't know how to explain it too well. Just the fact that there is a face behind a strategy, I think they did that indirectly, but it's something that I genuinely love that what they've done because it just gives a personality, a face behind a play style, and it makes it so much easier for teamwork to happen in a much more casual sense. I don't have to hit up a man's Gmail to figure out what they're going to do 5 minutes later into the match. If they pick a defensive commander, they're going to pick more defense, or they're going to have more defensive structures and units and stuff like that in their unit roster, and they're most likely going to use it. If they pick a much more aggressive one like Assault Grenadiers or something like that, you know that from the start they're going to be pushing those front lines, and you know what they're going to be doing. You're going to have to support them in some way, shape, and form. I love that. I feel like Company of Heroes 3, though, is going to eliminate that. Main reason why they're going to eliminate that is because it's going to encourage people to be much more like lone wolves, because you can just see what's going on your front and go, I need this ability. I'm going to pick this ability to counter this. Well, the thing is, in 4v4s, you share that front usually with one other person throughout the entire game. Obviously, other parts of the, other players on the other side of the map can join or blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean? But at least one other player is sharing your front. And if neither one of you communicate and you both have the same idea of, I could really use smoke right now, or I could really use better bunkers right now, and you both pick the exact same thing, that's going to make it easier to counter both of your fronts. And yes, that's the player's fault for not communicating, but simultaneously, I just don't really like the fact that the game forces you to communicate that much in higher rank, or not higher ranks, higher player count matches. Again, though, in the pre-alpha, there was no 3v3 or 4v4s available, so I can't contest to this to the sense of like, hey, I know this is going to happen because I haven't tried it. Nobody's tried it, and except for probably people who work for Relic and whatnot. But it's a problem that I genuinely see can happening, and I wanted to just bring this up now, simply out of just like, I don't know, I wanted to give these videos a shot, see where it gets me. I mean, Company of Heroes, I love it. I'm really excited for 3. I thought Company of Heroes 2 was a perfect game, pretty much. I mean, not everything is perfect, but this is as close to perfect as you can get for an RTS. I found it like the best thing ever. I'm really excited for Company of Heroes 3. I think they did the right thing in regards to picking Italy as a new setting, because not many games do that. It's also a very, not necessarily forgotten theater of war, but it's an interesting one that they picked to go use it. And the new units that are going to be involved, the fact that the Italians are going to be mixed into this, and they're bringing in, like they said, international flavors in, so like other special units, like this is going to bring change, and it's going to bring a wider variety of units. That's going to be really cool, and I feel like people are going to really love it. I know for sure I'm going to love it. The only thing that I'm really concerned at the moment, though, is this level of variety is kind of, how do I put this? It kind of made the game at the current moment, like I already discussed the issues with uh, variety affecting communication. One thing that I noticed with this game when playing it in 2v2s and in 1v1 skirmishes, I really only did skirmishes though, because I just wanted to be able to like pause the game whenever I wanted to if I had to go do something or whatever, and I didn't feel like I wanted to really do multiplayer or whatever in the pre-alpha. So everything I did was skirmishes. So for all I know, I'm completely wrong about absolutely everything. But I also wanted to do skirmishes in the sense of I could experiment with different units and whatnot much more effectively. Back on track. The worst thing I could give for criticism for this game is, unfortunately, yeah, like, yes, it's a pre-alpha build. Obviously, it's going to be way different in the future. I am by no means shooting this thing down saying Company of Heroes 3 is trash, it's bad. Again, this is pre-alpha, and even if it did turn out the way it is now, it is by no means a bad game. Their current systems that they have implemented, they seem to work. I haven't found a way to, break it or find an imbalanced way to have, like, America doesn't tech up way too fast. Germany doesn't tech up way too fast. Everything seems pretty damn balanced. Uh, but again, the biggest critique that I could give to Company Heroes 3 right now is that it was a little bit boring. Like, not in regards to unit selection or anything like that, but the fact that I had I had a wide spectrum of abilities. It felt like I had every single tool at my disposal. So to some extent, I always knew that I could, to some extent, try and control the chaos that was going on around me. I could just had to pick the right tool for the job. And that doesn't exist in Company of Heroes 2. In Company of Heroes 2, no matter what happens during a match, the reason why I suppose I enjoy it, it's not for this sole reason, but it's one of the reasons why I do enjoy the game so much is when you pick a commander, you'll handle certain situations better than other commanders, but you'll also handle other situations worse than other commanders. That adds a level of chaos to the game that doesn't make you necessarily feel responsible for, but it's something you have to be wary of. And when it happens, it's not necessarily something going like, "Oh no, it's my fault." It's if only I had picked this, and this ability. It was just like, "Oh shoot, this is happening. The enemy players know how to counter me. Well, I got to go ahead and try and switch up my strategy, or just it added a sense of chaos to the game." Maybe that argument doesn't make sense, but in my head, it's something that I genuinely liked was the fact that Company of Heroes 2 not necessarily forced you, it never forced you to do anything, but it gave you a commander that highly encouraged a certain type of play style, and that alone made the game a lot more easier to understand and a lot more fun, in my opinion. By no means made the game easy, and by no means made the game hard. It was just a really good system that was implemented into the game. You pick a certain commander, your teammate, if he picks the right commander to support you, you got a pretty good chance of not necessarily winning your front, but putting up a good fight. It depends what the enemy team does as well. But I just don't see that happening here in Company of Heroes 3 unless everybody's in the same Discord call together, communicating with each other. And like I said, found Company of Heroes 3 a little bit boring. If I had to point my finger at what it was specifically that did that, I'm not sure I could really say so. It's something that I've been really thinking back on a lot. And while I was playing the game as well, like, why does this game feel just not necessarily uninteresting? Because it was definitely interesting, but why did it just feel a bit boring to me? And one thing that came to mind was maybe it's because, to some extent, there was a level of, like, how do I put this? Maybe chaos, I guess, that existed in the match. It's not the right word, but like it's just it has to deal with the fact that like I had every single tool at my disposal. I did not want this. Like, sure, that sounds ideal. Obviously, it sounds ideal, but I don't think it's the best thing for the game. Maybe for having like, hey, look, players, you can pick any in quotation marks commander, battle group, field marshal, whatever the heck you want. You have a tool to handle almost everything. It feels kind of like, I don't know. To me, it just puts me off a bit. It's a little bit just like, well, what the heck? Like, I've got so much access to so many different ways to handle a problem. It doesn't really feel like I need teammates anymore. What is the point of teammates? You know? I guess, I mean, like, and the fact that you couldn't even see your friendly teammates' icons over their head, it emphasized the fact that I didn't even really felt like I needed a teammate. I mean, I was also fighting against AI in skirmishes, so there's also that. But, like, I don't know. The game currently mixed with the fact that I can't see unit icons and I have every tool at my disposal. I just got to pick the right tool for the job. It really did make me feel a bit more like a lone wolf. I've never played Company of Heroes 2 looking at my teammate and going, I don't care what he does. He can do whatever the heck he wants. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I always felt like we had to work together. In Company of Heroes 3, I genuinely forgot I was playing 2v2s at some points and was just playing 1v1s. And I'd be like, why are there minions running around with no icon over their head? And I'd click on them and be like, oh, that's right, I have an ally. What the heck is this? And not just the visual factor, but again, how it felt. I've got a tool to handle everything on my front. I can ignore my teammate almost entirely. Like, he can height his front all he wants. This just encourages a bit of a level of separation that I'm not too comfortable with. Regardless, I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know yet. It was a pre-alpha build, so maybe there was something that I also missed. Regardless, these are just my thoughts. Again, this is... Gosh, I don't even know how to end a video like this. I mean, I'm really still looking forward to this game. Like, this game seems really flipping cool to me. I'm excited for it. I wish that they did a little bit of a better, or not better, a different way to approach variety in this game. I think the Americans' ability to fight so diversely is just a bit frustrating. Regardless, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even going to go ahead and talk about that. That's another topic for another day. Regardless, this is going to be my attempt at a short and sweet approach at, like, oh gosh, I'm just gonna end the video now before it gets any worse. I hope my message got conveyed decently. I don't think it did. I think I failed again, like at my first attempt at this video, but regardless, I hope that this was decently informative or to some extent effective at conveying some form of message. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if, well, I don't. It doesn't matter what you tell me. I'm gonna make another video at some point. All right, yeah. Screw you guys. I'm making another video at some point. I need to get better at this. This is ridiculous that I can't freaking manage to talk too well when doing these videos. But anyways, have a good one out there. Good luck in your matches. God, this is tough.